What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you are all doing well. It's been a little bit since we did a tournament report, but we do have a couple things to talk about today. We're going to be looking over the Malaysia and Singapore ones, respectively, for the weekends of December 21st, before Christmas, and after Christmas with December 28th. We got a couple things, and a big shout out to Kutsu in the Base Damage Discord for hitting me up and was able to supply some very interesting information. As you can see by the tabs up here, we actually have a breakdown of the different decks and everything that were represented specifically at Singapore. And they also sent me the one for Manila. I know that was at the beginning of the month for December. But I figured it'd be cool to break it down. They did send me the information, so I'm like, hey, got it, might as well showcase it in a video. So the first thing I want to do, as always, is we're going to look over on the Bushiroad site at the Malaysia and Singapore information to see if there was anything that was banned, or there was anything that they said was not allowed to be played. So for Malaysia, it doesn't look to be the case. Day one was Weiss, and usually down here they would have anything that they say you can't use, which is the case for when we go to the Singapore one. They had Weiss day one, and they said, please note the following Weiss Schwarz titles may not be used at this regional qualifier, which is the quintessential quintuplets cards with W83. I want to say was like, I think it's the movie set or something. Forgive me. I've looked at this in the past and I looked up the numbers, but I don't remember it right now off the top of my head. Just know there was a subsection of quints that was not allowed, but there were the other two, because there's like 3 quint sets. One of them was not allowed. The other 2 were. To which I think quints could still do some stuff without, I think, the movie set being used. But I think this is actually the first set, because it's like ascending order here, 83, 90, and 101. So actually, I'm probably incorrect. This is probably the very first set. But, you know, whatever. So the only real restriction was a hit on quints. And still, that kind of has a little bit of representation depending on some of the regionals and whatnot we've looked at before. Have had Ichika decks. They've had Eatski being a very powerful contender and has given Joe some PTSD. But that is something we want to take into account when we're looking over all this information and everything for each of these areas. So forgive me if I butcher this, but Kuala Lumpur, I believe. If there's like a specific pronunciation for that, please correct me in the comments. Feel free to do so. Malaysia, we had 15 players, which is really awesome. For the first place, we got I was supposed to say Attack on Titan, Adventure Time. I was like, wait, that's not AOT. Adventure Time with Standby Door, and we will take a look at that. I wonder if that was Kokuren. I don't know. But then we have a Hololive with Caligura for second place. Definitely we'll be taking a look at this. Overlord, you're about to see a bunch of Overlord when you get down to Singapore. And then another Hololive with Korone Marine. No real reason to super go over it, but I myself want to look at the Caligura deck, if nothing else. Jack Jake Finn V2. Oh, my internet's being weird. It is still so weird to see Adventure Time in this game. Alrighty, so the salvage trigger, well, let's see. Level 3 is my best friends in the world. That is off the standby. Okay, so the level 1 Princess Bubblegum here is the 1k1 salvage climax. On attack, if you have it in your climax area and you have another Ooh character, it's just so weird. Look at it to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add a Ooh character from amongst them, add it to your hand. So basically, just Amelia from ReZero, but hey, you don't have to reverse. Can't really complain there. And the level 3 combo being if Remember You is in your memory, which I'm assuming is... Okay, it is... Oh, yeah, it's this scene. I know this. It is this event. So if that event is in memory, she gets an extra 3k, so she's a constant 11. She can heal 1 on play. When My Best Friends in the World is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's waiting room and turn them to their deck, so a little bit of decompression. Your opponent shuffles his or her deck. This card gets 1500 power and the following ability till end of turn. Auto, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, pay 2, pitch 2, burn 3. Okay. So a little bit of decompression and then some burn, which for burn 3 is not too terrible in the world. So, but yeah, congrats to the AOT player. I want to take a peek to the Caligura deck real quick. I really think it's crazy. Okay, this is a lot of level 3s. Hold up. I just noticed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 level 3s in a non-like standby variant. But I guess for Caligura, it's even more understandable considering how much you want, I guess, to mill with the Cali. Because depending on the number of soul triggers and everything that you mill, you get to salvage that much more back. You need soul triggers in your cards for when Gura is doing her little burn 1s. So very interesting there. Obviously with Cali, alright, nothing too crazy here. We do got some full art promos there. So shout outs. I gotta respect the fellow Hololive enthusiast. So Overlord, Hololive, Corone Marin. So we do not have the list exactly what setup was for Malaysia for the 5th through 8th place, but they did at least tell us which sets they were. This is why I haven't posted anything, was because they weren't able to even get all this information for a hot minute. But a lot of the decks are still kind of unknowns right now. Maybe future iterations or maybe a future videos down the road, we can take a look at maybe some of these if the information gets given to us. But for right now, Bochi the Rock at 5th place. Another Hololive deck, could be any number of stuff. In 6th, Chainsaw Man with 7th place, and a Bang Dream in 8th place. I'm assuming that is with the new Anniversary Kasumi level 3. More than likely is the setup for that. So, hey, shout-outs to everyone who played in Malaysia. If you got in the top here, or even if you just played in Malaysia, feel free to comment down below and, hey, let us know if you topped, or even any of the people up here, 1st through 8th, whatever, or even if you just went. So please tell us how your experience was, how you enjoyed the events and everything. It would be greatly appreciated, and especially if you were one of these that we don't know what the setup was, do feel free to comment down below and let us know what it was you were piloting, man. It'd be awesome. To get on to Singapore. So this is going to be an interesting thing because one of the ones that Kutsu sent me was the breakdown for Singapore, which this is really crazy because the top 2 were both Guilty Gear Strive. And there's only, if you look, I know it's kind of hard to tell with the smaller print and everything. Let me zoom in just a smidgen here. But then my freaking shoulders, like, covering the thing. Guilty Gear Strive is right here in this little section of the pie chart. There was only 4 Guilty Gear Strive decks in the entirety of the event. And 2 of them topped, which is just, like, amazing. Like, got in the 1st and 2nd place. I think that's really crazy. But also really freaking cool. So we are going to showcase their things real quick here. A Kaguya-sama Love is War, a 5 standby 3 door variant. Let us see if we can find how many Kaguya-samas were in here. Just the one, the singular Kaguya-sama right here, got 3rd place. You know what? That's freaking awesome. Okay, we're definitely going to have to take a look at this one as well. And then we had 3 Overlords. At least for the 5th through 8th place, we know what was being run. My brain hurts. What is M-A... Oh, Marvel. Marvel. I'm like, wait. I'm sitting here going, I don't know what this is. There was like a manga series called like Marchin Awakens Romance or something like that, like years ago. So I thought that's what... I was like, we don't have that in Weiss. So I'm sitting here going, what the fuck? Okay. But let's take a look at the Overlord representation real quick. Hold up, the Nazarick Tomb of the Undead. Okay, so all 3 of the Overlord players got into the top 8. So hell, that's pretty cool. And this is 53 players. I realized I didn't state that before. If I did, I forgot. So that is kind of crazy. For Hololive, we have a 1 Caligura, which is insane. Hololive was the predominant one showing up here, a whopping 32%. You would think this to be like reversed, like maybe 1 Overlord player topped, and out of 16 Hololive people, only 1 person got in it. I mean, still, that's really awesome. You know, I mean, hell, obviously they had a lot to contend with, it looks like, so that's really cool. Now, let's take a look at Marvel. There were 3 Marvel players, it looks like, 6%. So 3 right here, and they were able to get 8th place with that. You know, hell, congrats on that. Let's take a look then at the 1st place should be this one. Nope, that is not that one. Baiken, Soul, Potemkin, Jacko. Ramwithal. Oh, Jacko Ramwithal. Okay, so this should be the first. This should be the first place one. Okay, so Baiken Soul Potemkin. Okay, so the Baiken one is the level 2. Basically works with the standby to be able to stand itself. Just as long as at the beginning of your attack phase. It doesn't even have to be the one summoned by the standby. But like say if you rested this for the cost of like a brainstorm or something, you would still like stand this. But typically it's just summon it with the standby, sack the standby to stand it. Then we had let's see. Okay, so this is the one copy for Potemkin, and then this is the 0% possible. That is, it's this soul. Okay, so 3, 2, 10k. The climax combo itself says on attack, if 0% possible is in your climax area, you have 2 or more other Guilty Gear characters. Pay 1, pitch 1, burn 4. That feels like such a low cost. And then on top of it has another cost you can do to put the top card of your opponent's deck into their clock when you verse the battle opponent. This thing and it heals on play. This thing just does everything and is just like absolutely ridiculous. The Potemkin, only one copy of the climax, but I mean, hey, if it works, it works. It's a 3, 2, 8k, gets 1,000 for each of your other Guilty Gear, so can be a 12k. I've seen memes of Potemkin. I don't play Guilty Gear Strive, but I know the memes. Let's see. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 3, pitch 1 card from hand, sack the climax. If you do, choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room. Put them on top of their deck in any order, and then burn 4. That is kind of nuts. That makes sense that there's only the one copy of it just in case it pops off, because you can only really pull off the climax combo once because you have to sack it. So yeah, okay, that's kind of understandable, but still really awesome. So congrats to the first place on that one. Second place was the Jacko combo with on attack, you can discard a card and sack the climax, the overdrive, which is the standby. Oh, too far. And if you do, search your deck for up to 2 Guilty Gear characters, add them to your hand. Okay, cool. Really good there, especially for like standby shenanigans. And obviously Ramwithal, one of the crazier finishers in the game. So 3, 2, 10k. When Overdrive Calvados is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage, you can put a Guilty Gear character from your memory into your waiting room. Plenty of ways to do that. If you do, this card gets 3k power and then perform the following action 2 times. It specifically lets you summon this Lucifero twice, either from the deck or the waiting room, depending on where you need him from. And then they have their own climax combo with the same climax. On attack, pay a cost to burn for 3 and give an extra 6k power until the end of turn. And they just get really huge. So very awesome there. Obviously a lot of repeating staple cards, really good. I'm just saying, hell, even running the Baiken just as a good level 2 target, even without running the climax combo. So it's kind of understandable. And lastly, I love the title of this, No More Medical Leave for 2024. We have Kaguya-sama. We've looked at Kaguya-sama before on the channel, specifically in some of these. I'm sorry, I'm also kind of vamping just to, thank you, waiting for that to freaking load. Cheryl, we have the level 3 here is the Salvage Exchange Party Aftermath. Yep, it's this one. So the level 3 is the Salvage Climax combo. On attack, if you have the climax, pay 1, burn 1, and she gets a buff. She also can do some more burn if you resonate with a particular eye. I believe that is this one right here. Then we have 2 different standby combos, but only one copy of this one, Illuminated by Moonlight, which is not this one. Now we're even. Oh, okay, so this is just, I thought it was 2 different ones, but it's just like an alternate art. This is the SR version. Okay, so it doesn't look like the climax combo for the one copy is in the deck. It's just trying to get more standby in the deck to try to push. So the only other climax combo is the In the Corridor at Dusk Kaguya. When this card attacks, if Now or Even is in your climax area, if you have another Shuchin, you may look at the top card of your deck. If you do, put that card face down underneath this card as a marker. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can sack that marker to search your deck for a Shuujin character. Okay, interesting. Oh, so you can get the markers just in case, like, you don't have something to reverse, and then if you reverse it later, you could still do that. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so awesome. Kaguya-sama. Love to see the tops there. Very, very cool. Then, like I said, we have 3 Overlord, Hololive, and a Marvel deck. So I don't know anything about Marvel. I don't really... I shouldn't say I don't care to look into it. It comes from a place of saltiness for the fact that we can't get Marvel or Pixar in the States, and that only Southeast Asia can play it. But you know what? I'm going to say kudos, congrats to the Southeast Asia people who can represent this and run it. So really awesome there. If you were also any of the people here went to Singapore or topped 1 through 8 or whatever, do feel free to comment down below. Let us know. It's greatly appreciated. And brother, if the Marvel player can tell me what the hell you were on, by all means, hit me up in the Discord. And lastly, before we sign off for this, because we don't have any others, we're gonna have the weekend of January 12th. This is the 6th, the day that I'm recording this. We're gonna have Madrid, Spain, and Vancouver, Canada. Shout outs, I think, yeah, Vancouver, I think, was where William, one of the world champions who we had on one of the podcast episodes, I think he's from that side of Canada. If I'm wrong, dude, I greatly apologize. But also, if you are playing in this, good luck. Hope it goes well. But I figure also, while we were here, since I got the information from Manila, we're going to go back to Manila and take a quick little peek at what it is. But it was given to me in the form of a Google document drive, so, quit that. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can get the whole thing in here, but probably can't. Once again, in terms of predominant, we have Hololive at a whopping 23% representation, which is, it doesn't give the exact deck numbers like this one did, but that's totally cool. We can just at least get a rough idea. I'm assuming in here's like maybe 1 or like 2 players of these particular decks at the most, which is really weird when we see a Slime deck is only like 2 or 3 players. I'm going to assume this is like 2 or 3 right here for this big of a pie slice. Ruby at 1. Overlord looks like a singular Overlord player, which I want to see. Overlord didn't, and Slime didn't. I remember looking through this and just saying, like, there was no Slime decks that topped, and it's because there was only one dude rocking it, and I'm like, damn, that's understandable. Because it was Spy Family was what won. I'd only see the one Spy Family. Let's see if we can find Spy Family up here really quick. See how many we had. 8%. So this is a fairly large pie slice. I'm going to assume like 5 or 6 players maybe. So that's actually pretty big right there. Let's say 5, just to be safe. So 5 Spy Family players, and one of them won the whole shebang. So that's really cool. Kaguya-sama, I think that was another like singular like one. I think if I'm looking at it right, it's amongst these like singular. So there's probably like one person piloting Kaguya-sama got 2nd place. That's freaking awesome. Oshinoko. But let's just take a look and see what else we had. So the second biggest pie slice up here is Azure Lane. It looks to be maybe a little under half the size of Hololive, and we did have 2 Hololives top, so that's understandable. Let's just do a rundown. We said 1 random AOT, SAO, Fate. Shoutouts to the one Fate dude running in there. I love you. Slime, Ruby, Saikano, Kaguya, Overlord, a card captor Sakura player. Hell, that's awesome. Shana, we know. Avatar, we did have some Marvel representation as well. It looks like 1 or 2 players. Quince, we had like 3 or 4 people. Bunny Girl, Deadly Sins, which has had such a massive representation. Hey, looks like they're at least... Looks like 2 or 3 people, so at least 1 person got in with 7 Deadly Sins in the top 8. Arifureta, the year of our Lord 2024-25 rocking... I mean, this was 24 when this happened. So, rocking Haruhi in this climate. You know what? Shout outs to you, man. You're a real G. All right, we had Bang Dream, Chainsaw Man, Tokyo Revengers. I know my hair's kind of covering up this. Love Live, Frieren, which is no surprise. I'm honestly surprised this isn't bigger. Oshinoko, and obviously Hololive, and Bochi as well. Did we get a Bochi player? No, it was a Bang Dream up here. I remember seeing a B. So no Bochi in the top 8, but it's all good. But yeah, this is roughly the breakdown of everything that happened at Manila, and obviously the ones that happened in Singapore. So this is really awesome, and once again, big shout outs to Kutsu in the Discord for helping us and supplying us with this information. It honestly helps put a lot of things into perspective. I don't expect, to be able to do this for every single video, but when I get it, I'm definitely going to try to show it off. So big thanks. And also, if you too would like to join the Discord, link for that will be down in the description. Do feel free to join. Feel free to like and subscribe to the video, to the channel if you want. If not, it's cool. Thank you for swinging by. We're going to be, the 12th? Yes, like the 12th. So the weekend after the, so it'll be next weekend. We do have 2 coming up, so we'll definitely be taking a look at that. So until then, thank y'all very much once again, and we'll see y'all on the flip side. Stay based.